Hello everyone, welcome back. Yes, you really want to get this one. Yes, you don't want to miss this because this is very interesting. It's on the Alexander Isak story. But before we get into that, I'll just let you know on what is going on in the transfer market of recent. Leon Bailey left Aston Villa to Roma on a loan, I think £2.5 million loan deal. So he's going to be back. He's not going to leave. I was even wondering why they released the player. He's a very good player, but that's not why we are here. We're actually here for the Alexander Isak story, and I'm going to dive right into the story because Isak has made a statement. We all know that, but Newcastle have also responded. Yes, that's what most of us didn't know. Newcastle have responded. So Isak came out to say he made a statement after a very long time. He has not spoken. He was being quiet about the whole issue, but he came out to say that he had an agreement with a gentleman agreement. Yes, we're going to talk about the gentleman agreement thing because it's not really looking well for the player and the club when it falls apart. It's looking well for it doesn't look well for anybody when it falls apart, because I think this thing should be put into writing, but we'll talk about that later. Right now, Isak said they had an agreement that he can leave when a bigger club comes for him. If a bigger club comes for Alexander Isak, he can leave. That's what the agreement with him and Newcastle. So, and now Newcastle are not letting him leave instead of trying to negotiate, because the offer Liverpool brought on the table was a very good offer. Very big offer, £120 million. Very impressive offer. How they can say, okay, step it up a bit, maybe 130, and we'll sell the player. You understand? But these people said the player is not for sale. So they have refused to honor their gentleman agreement. Now, hours after Alexander Isak publicly said this about broken promises, Newcastle replied. Yes, Isak said the relationship can't continue because of the broken promises. So Newcastle have replied, and this is what they said. We are disappointed to have been alerted to a social media post by Alexander Isak this evening. Newcastle said to open the statement. Yes, they said this to open the statement. We are clear in response that Isak remains under contract and that no commitment has ever been made by a club official that Alexander Isak can leave Newcastle United this summer. Pay attention though, this is where it gets interesting. We want to keep our best players, but we also understand players have their own wishes and we listen to their views. As explained to Alex and his representatives, we must always take into consideration the best interest of Newcastle United, the team, and our supporters in all decisions, and we have been clear that the conditions of a sale this summer have not transpired. We do not foresee those conditions being met. So this Isak saga is going to continue as it is right now. And they are also the report also said that the Isak saga will likely continue till the end of the transfer. Of course, obviously, if no team manages to meet Isak's determined price tag, then Newcastle seem comfortable keeping the player, even ready to welcome him back to Eddie Howe's side. All right, they also said that this is a proud football club and proud traditions, and we strive to retain our family feel. Alexander Isak remains part of our family, and we will welcome back we'll welcome him back when he's ready to rejoin his teammates. Newcastle said this, and to close the statement. All right, so if you really listen to this, there are two things involved. The place they said that there is no agreement between Isak and any of the Newcastle staff or agents that he is going to leave this summer. Now, for someone to say that, it means there was an agreement that he is going to leave, but maybe he didn't specify that it is going to be this summer. Like I said earlier, this gentleman agreement is something that really need to be looked at, because if I open my mouth to say something with you and I don't write it down, if you go to anywhere, if you take them to court or anything, it is just word of the mouth. And someone can say you lied. Simple. I did not agree to that. I didn't even weigh the evidence that I agreed to that. You understand? There was no agreement made, and if no agreement was made between these two parties, if there is no written document, most of this word of the mouth does not stand. It can't hold water. It can't hold any significant strength. This thing is not going to work for Isak, and it's not going to work for Newcastle. Now, if Isak chooses to come back to the team, Newcastle have said that they are ready to welcome him, but they are not ready to let him go unless their demands have been met for the player. If the player must leave, that means they are expecting 150 million pounds from Liverpool, and Liverpool is not going to pay that amount. So there are two things that are going to happen now in this situation. Either Alexander Isak will stay at Newcastle, and on his side he has two choices: staying at Newcastle and coming back to the team, to play, to apologize and what have you, and then just to play. That is one. Two, staying at Newcastle and not playing. Yes, and I believe if he stays at Newcastle and does not play for 2 months or 3 months, maybe Newcastle will start to see reason that they are actually losing, because he is still on contract according to them, and they are still paying this player. Yes, you don't pay you because you play or you don't play. Maybe when you play, you have other bonuses attached, but your main contract, you get paid whether you play, whether you don't play. So they will be paying this player some big money too. It's not just small money. They'll be paying this player some big money. They have tried all their best to tie him down, and the player said he is not interested in staying. Even the newest contract they offered him, with release clause for him to leave next summer, he said he is not interested in playing and he's not coming back to the team. So they have to, and I feel Newcastle will still lose, because Liverpool on the other hand might just get a cheaper striker as backup. Yes, just to back up Ekitike for now, knowing that this is what the decision that Newcastle have made. Liverpool can be smart and get a cheaper striker as backup, because they already have a good striker. It's just to get someone else as backup. So who is going to suffer from this thing? Newcastle is actually going to suffer. Isak will stay if Isak is mean to stay and mean not to play for the club again. It will backfire Newcastle. There's no two ways about it. So they should keep their contract, it's fine, but it is going to backfire. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not looking at this from I know a lot of talks, oh, this person is at fault. No, I'm not looking at it as anybody's at fault, but I know this is the only time Newcastle can cash in big on this player. If they don't cash in big on this player now, they are going to regret it, because Isak will leave for less anytime the window opens. The window open in January. Isak is leaving for less than that their estimated price. If he leaves September, is lesser than that. So anytime they decide that this guy will leave or they will terminate his contract, it's on them. So let's see how it's going to progress. Let's see who's going to break first. Yes, since both parties have chosen to be stubborn in the process of this transfer windows, let's see how both parties are going to take the extent both parties are willing to take it to. Let's see who is going to break sweat first. Yes, because right now it is a tug of war between these two parties, Isak and Newcastle. And Newcastle have come in strong and have decided to hold on to the player. So let's see how this is going to progress. I just want to share the news with us. Please do subscribe. I forgot to say all that in the beginning of the video. Do subscribe, and I'll also see in the next video. I'll keep updating you on how the story is going. Yes, I'm a Liverpool fan, so we know what it is to get Isak in our team, and we have also tried our best to get this player. We didn't come to force the player or force anything. This player wants to come to us, and we are ready to pay money, but not crazy money. Same thing Wisa is doing to Newcastle. Now, if Newcastle keep this player, it is on them if the player does not play. Yes, this thing can work for them, and it might backfire in a big way. So let's see how it goes. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.